Hello.
Sorry? Alright, well, this is supposedly for residents only. So, thank you for filming. I'm not giving you permission to film, so.
She's not.
Take a picture of your license plates and forward it on.
Hey, so y'all hear what I go through, right? This the third person. I'm in my own neighborhood, and a white person came and bothered me while I'm fishing. Another white person came and bothered me while I'm fishing. This is the third time. She's like, oh, no, I'm not giving you permission to film. This is my phone. I can film and do whatever I want. I study the law. I study the law. Thank you. I'm sorry. Hey, well, don't leave now. Do you want to say, hey, do you live here? Where you live? What's your address?
Where do you live? Where do you live?
This is unbelievable.
Where do you live? Why?
What's your name, by the way? Because at the next
Karen.
meeting, I'm definitely going to mention you.
Her name is Karen.
wait. Matter of fact, let me turn this phone around. Let me go ahead and get your.
Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me. And we come past Mount Seir many days. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have come past this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren of the children of Esau, which dwell in Mount Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed of yourselves, therefore, meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, no, not so much as a footbreadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for possession. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, whose name is YAHAWAH, and His only begotten Son, whose name is YAHAWASHI, to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom. Double honors to the elders and bishops of the great millstones, the one who taught me this truth, 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace and salutations to all the sincere Akim out there listening and learning to this gospel. Shalom, Israel. I want to thank the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. I hope you're edified. Yes. This is a story here of a guy who's, it's a TikTok guy. He goes by the name of Fishin' Bay 2GA. So it's I believe it's in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. So he goes to this area in this community. It appears to be predominantly so-called white neighborhood, and he appears to be a black man in a predominantly so-called white neighborhood. And he goes fishing, and on a daily basis he gets harassed from all the local residents. Let's see, something is freezing up here. So here's another one.
Said you look pretty good. When I asked you earlier, you didn't say where do you live.
I was told not to talk to strangers who don't
Right.
introduce themselves.
I'll not introduce myself. I happen to be on the homeowner association board. And we pay for the lake. It's a private lake, so if you live in the
Introduce
neighborhood,
yourself.
all you have to do is say
Introduce
something.
yourself. Who are you?
I am John McCollum.
That's good to know.
John McCollum, where you live?
I live right down here.
Where's your
Where?
address?
What street? What's your address?
Spring Ridge Drive.
Okay.
Say that again?
What is it?
I'm not telling you anymore. You got it the first time. You got
Okay.
it on tape. You're recording it.
We
so
got
I'm
it the
sure you
first
got
time.
it.
What do you?
And where do
All
you
right.
live?
Where do you live?
I told you.
Okay. That don't mean
And
I
where
gotta
do you
tell
live?
you where I live. Who does that? You can break into my home.
Hey,
I don't know you.
Well, you
police
asked-
officers
Why should you break into mine?
Well, you should.
and gang warden. This is the man right here that's harassing us.
So this is number two. This Jake says he gets harassed at least 3 to 4 times a day in the same spot, and other people fish there that don't look like him, and doesn't get any harassment. But they take it upon themselves, so-called white man Esau Edom takes it upon himself to harass this gentleman. He has a family. I'm assuming he has a family just like anybody else to feed, right? We got to eat daily. So every day he gets harassed. So book of Genesis 27, starting at verse 19. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thou soul may bless me. So now, this is Jacob and his father, and his father Isaac, and Jacob is pretending to be Esau at this point. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hand is of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said to him, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it nearer to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and he kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore YAHAWAH give thee of the dew of the heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. Yes, Esau's blessing was the fatness of the earth. Today, modern day times, Edomites believe that everything is about them. They go from country to country, take spoils, take over lands, name them after themselves, and they take control. This guy here. I'll play one more video actually before I get into the lesson thoroughly.
And they called him.
So now the officers are called.
Like again, this is the third time. So look, I'm getting famous off this by now.
What's going on?
I live here, and they keep calling the police on me.
You got your ID?
Yeah. See, and every time you have your ID. Like literally the other time,
Yeah,
4 times, I have a whole page dedicated to this. And so here we go. Again, I live here, and people don't think I live here because it's a nice neighborhood, and they want to bother me and harass me, so they call the police all the time. Insane. And they called him.
Pause it there for a second. So now officers are called. Right off the bat, the officer had this sarcastic smile on his face, and the first thing he says, "You got your ID." So he's just making it. He's stating his authority right there. Okay, Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And here's the point. Curse shall thou be in the city, and curse shall thou be in the field. Yes, everywhere the Israelites are, this is a sign. The Lord says, curse shall thou be in the city, Doesn't matter where he is. He's in probably the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. And curse shall be in the field. Doesn't matter where they go, there will be signs for that, right? Because Esau was blessed with the fatness of the earth. Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24 says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Yes, this is Esau, Edom's heaven. This is his world. The world was given to him. He was blessed with the fatness of the earth. And this is why he goes on this way. He's a very proud man, right? The earth was given to the hands of the wicked. So now let's go to precept for that. Malachi 1 verse 4 says, whereas Ethan saith, we are impoverished, we will return and build into desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Yes, the Most High created Esau and Jacob. He created all these nations for his own purpose. Yes, Edomites were created to be the wicked, and they're just playing their part. They're playing their part in the Lord's movie. Yes, the part of the wicked. The Lord said He has created a potter for honor and for dishonor. They are the vessels for dishonor. Yes, the wicked. This is currently their heaven, right? Let's go now to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Let's go with verse 45, starting at 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, this is to the Israelites, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. Yes, the laws, the statutes, and the commandments were only given to the nation of Israel. You can get that account in Psalms 147, the 19th and the 20th chapter. Okay? And here's the point, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder upon thy seed forever. Right? So this is the sign. So everywhere the Israelites go, we will have, the Lord said there'll be continual war, just roughly paraphrasing, continual war with Amalek from generation to generation. Amalek is the head tribe of Esau, Edom. Right? So it says in 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. Doesn't matter where we are, what we do, what profession. This guy, I think he's an educator, and he's distinguished. He said he's well studied in the law in another video. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Yes. Cursed be in the city, cursed be in the field, right? This is Esau, Edom's world, because he's very proud. He's untouchable, doesn't feel he can be taken down. But the Lord is gonna reserve his judgment for the Edomites last. You can get that account in book of Obadiah, chapter 1 verse 18, right? That's Esau, Edom's fate. So right now he's just playing his role in his lot. Let's drop down to actually, let's see, 1 second here. So yes, so their biblical identity, the Lord, actually, you know what? Let me read this verse. Deuteronomy 28 verse 65. And among these nations shall thou find no ease, right? The Most High created 18 nations, okay? So he didn't create colors. He didn't create black, he didn't create white, he created nations. Yes, we are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, so-called black, so-called Latino, so-called Native American. And yes, I repeat it every single time. It is not a color thing, because our heritage is like a speckled bird. We come in all different shapes and colors and sizes, okay? So it says, Deuteronomy 28:65, and among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest. You know that says, like, it's just tiring, we're constantly being harassed and bothered just because of our presence, you know. But that's the Lord's doing, right? And it says, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and a filling of eyes and a sore of mind, you know. All the miseries, all the stress, all the PTSD, all the pressure we are put through on this earth, you know. But it's the Lord's doing. But he will this is his people. The Israelites are the Lord's people. You know, the Lord's not dealing with other nations, you know. This is the Lord's power of Israel. It is his world, so this is his movie, this is his script. So I'll read an article here. Like I said earlier, Most High created nations, not color. Like when you look at a person, you say, oh, this guy's black. Compare his beard to his face. His beard is black. Look at his face, right? Not the same color. If anything, he's brown, right? And look at the officer. If anything, he's red. Look at his face in the background. So now let's go to this little article here. It's from this article here is from the where is it? I don't know. Gee, I can't even pull it down to here, but it's by an author named Robert Plant. I'm just going to read the first part. It says, the invention of whiteness, the long history of a dangerous idea. Okay, it's an idea, so that's a clue. I'll just read the first paragraph here. It says, before the 17th century, people did not think of themselves as belonging to something called the white race. But once the idea was invented, that's a clue, it quickly began to reshape the modern world. So this is an article by Robert P. Beard. I can't seem to pull it up any further. Okay, so let's go on to something here further. Another article, okay? It says, this is facing facts, history, and ourselves. I was looking for an author here. Maybe I should just put the link in the description box, but you're seeing it right here. So it says, inventing black and white. It says, learn how Bacon's rebellion became a turning point for the way of... Learn how Bacon's rebellion became a turning point for the way the laws of colonial Virginia distinguished people of different races. Okay, let's start over here. So in Virginia, in the 1600s, Anthony Johnson secured his freedom from indentured servitude, acquired land, and became a respected member of his community. Elizabeth Key successfully appealed to the colony's legal system to set her free after she had been wrongfully enslaved. By 1700, the laws and customs of Virginia had begun to distinguish black people from white people, making it impossible for most Virginians of African descent to do what Johnson and Key had done. This is the images from the Bacon Rebellion. I'll get into it shortly. Okay, so it says, why did Virginia lawmakers make these changes? Many historians point to an event known as the Bacon's Rebellion in 1676 as a turning point. Nathaniel Bacon was a wealthy white property owner and relative of Virginia's governor, William Berkeley. But Bacon and Berkeley did not like each other, and they disagree over issues pertaining to how the colony should be governed, including the colony's policy toward Native Americans. Bacon wanted the colony to retaliate for raids by Native Americans on frontier settlements and to remove all Native Americans from the colony so landowners like himself could expand their property. So they're basically just trying to gain more for themselves. They will never have enough, right? Just pure greed and evil. Berkeley feared that doing this so will unite all the nearby tribes in a costly and disruptive war against the colony. In defiance of the governor, Bacon organized his own militia consisting of white and black indentured servants and enslaved black people who joined in exchange for freedom and attacked nearby tribes. A power struggle ensued with Bacon and his militia on one side and Berkeley and Virginia House of Burgess and the rest of the colony's elite on the other. Months of conflict followed, including armed skirmishes between militias. In September 1676, Bacon's militia captured Jamestown and burned it to the ground. Although Bacon died of fever a month later and the rebellion fell apart, Virginia's wealthy planters were shaken by the fact that a rebel militia that united white and black servants and slaves had destroyed a colonial capital. Legal scholar Michelle Alexander writes, "The events in Jamestown were alarming to the planter elite, who were deeply fearful of the multiracial alliance or of the indentured servants, and slave. Word of Bacon's rebellion spread far and wide, and several more upsprings of similar type followed. In an effort to protect their superior status, this is the point right here. In an effort to protect their superior status and economic position, the planters shifted their strategy from maintaining dominance. They abandoned their heavy reliance on indentured servants in favor of the importation of more black slaves. After Bacon's rebellion, Virginia lawmakers began to make legal distinctions between black and white inhabitants by permanently enslaving Virginians of African descent and giving poor white indentured servants and farmers some of the new rights and statuses. They hoped to separate the two groups and make it less likely that they would unite in rebellion. So you see what they did there, right? They're giving the poor class, so-called whites, more status. So now they feel that they're better and separate, right? So even all the indentured servants and the people of African descent, they were basically this is how they started to distinguish by class, right? So soon after Bacon rebellion, they increasingly distinguished between the people of African descent and the people of European descent. They enact laws which say that the people of African descent are hereditary slaves, and increasingly give some power to the independent white farmers and landholders. Sorry. Now, what is interesting about this is that we normally say that slavery and freedom are opposite things, that they're diametrically opposed. But what we see here in Virginia in the late 17th century around Bacon's rebellion is that the freedom and slavery are created in the same moment. Evil. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the first appearance in print of the adjectives white in reference to a white man of a person of a race distinguished by a light complexion was in 1671. Prior to that, there were Edomites, and they still are Edomites, but they hid their biblical identity and started calling themselves white. Colonial characters and other official documents written in the 16th and the early 17th rarely referred to European colonists as white. That's a clue. As the status of people of African descent in the British colonies were challenged and attacked, as the white indentured servants were given new rights and statuses. The word white continued to be more widely used in public documents and private pages to describe the European colonists. People of European descent were considered white, and those of African descent were labeled black. So this is the biggest scam pulled as well. They changed our biblical identities from the Israelites. They changed theirs from the Edomites, started calling themselves white and started calling us black. Right? That's part of their own. This is the social construct. Many of the European descended poor whites began to identify themselves, if not directly with the rich whites. So it didn't matter whether they were rich or poor. They started calling themselves all white, and this is going to have that gap, and this is where this whole notion of so-called white supremacy as well. Certainly with being white, and here you get the emerge of the idea of the white race as a way to distinguish themselves from those dark-skinned people who are associated with perpetual slavery. I will stop it there. Need to say no more. But this is the biggest scam. Like they hid their biblical identity from who they are. Let's see if I have one.
Yeah, we got a little something.
Sorry, let's see one more.
What's up, catching?
We got some, yeah. All right, Clint.
Let's see one more video here. Just bear with me for 1 second. There's an update on this one here, but bear with me for 1 second here. It's a good one. almost there. Okay, yes. So this was the woman who came up to the gentleman that was fishing earlier, and she started giving him problems, and she said her name was Karen of all names. But here's the conclusion to that in terms of what had happened. Okay, so this is the video.
Okay, well, the other aspect is the lady Tanya, and I may come back, and this is simply an attempt to help one of our member neighbors. She's been fired from her job. She's been told to get our stuff out of the office, skedaddle. If there's anything we can collectively think of doing to post something, this is one request to post, to not only her boss, but the media that you've accessed, and say something like, misunderstanding. Okay, well, the other...
Yeah, so that's the outcome of that one there. So she's been fired and lost her job, and the story goes on where she's a single mother or a single woman, and she has a big mortgage and stuff. But not once part of that was any form of apology and everything. This guy appears to be, I'm sure he's related to her, but all he's concerned is he's just concerned with her, you know, this gentleman to apologize to the media. So oh man, but yeah, so that's really in a nutshell. All these things here, all this stuff here is to edify the nation of Israel, and just a reminder who we are, because as the book earlier says, you know, curse shall be in the city, curse shall be in the field, right? So this is what it is. So with that, I'm going to close it off there. I think the point has been established, and now you know. So until the next time, Shalom. Hope you've been edified.